Buongiorno beautiful people, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. It has been a while since I uploaded a video and as you can see I'm a hot mess, but I am getting ready. I'm going to now straighten my hair because we're going to go and do something really exciting which I can't believe we're doing. So yeah, I will tell you in a little bit what we're doing today, but I thought to get ready while I talk to you and just let you know what's happened with me, why I haven't been uploading, how the whole back to fit journey is going, and basically, yeah, why I haven't been MIA and I haven't been uploading for the past, I want to say 5 to 7 days. So basically, I don't know what to start with because so many things have happened since I last spoke to you, and also I'm sorry for how I'm going to appear while doing my hair. Wow, where do I start? Okay, so first of all, I think I'm going to get out of the way the TMI things. So I don't know if you noticed, but whenever I did a back to fit vlog, I would keep saying that, again, this is TMI, I would keep saying that I'm on my period, that I'm very bloated and things like that. And so one of the things that happens which directly affects the back to fit journey and basically my activity levels and everything is the fact that I am literally having a period for 7 days long every other week. So I have a week, full week, or even more days out of a week of period, then I get around 7 days off, and then I have again another week or more having periods. So yeah, that has been quite stressful and it has been very annoying, and I'm constantly bloated and I'm constantly feeling just uncomfortable, if it makes sense. I don't know if you ever had it. I'm very lucky in the sense that I don't get crazy pains and I don't get any, you know, stuff that would affect majorly my day, but I do get very uncomfortable and I do get like, I feel down and just like not the best, not as happy as I actually am. So yeah, that has been very much of a difficulty in the whole back to fit journey because I'm constantly feeling not great. So I am on contraceptive pills. I am on a different type of pill because I was gonna get an implant, the one that you put in your arm. So we were trying to see whether the type of hormones, again, I'm not very good at this type of topics, but basically, yeah, instead of a combined pill, it was a single type of hormones that they get when you get an implant in your arm. So we were trying to see whether it works for me. Evidently it doesn't, because lately it's going crazy. So that has been a little bit, yeah, a little bit like that. Then another thing that has affected my back to fit journey is the fact that if you've been following me, and if not, just so you know, I graduated from uni last summer, so summer 2020, and I had been, since I graduated, looking for a job for a few months. It was a little bit of a stressful situation, and I finally found a job, not exactly what I wanted to work at, but I still found a job, and I started working in October. Now, last week, I think, yeah, literally Thursday of last week, they announced that our company was bought. Now, I'm not gonna say which company I work for. I'm not gonna say which company bought us because regardless, I'm not allowed until they officially, you know, announce it. But yeah, it has been crazy because I personally didn't see it coming. And now basically we have to do loads of training. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of contracts to be signed and closure to check because I don't know why, but I think they messed up with my contract. And there are so many things. And on top of that, we have meetings for like the onboarding, and we have a little bit of, as I mentioned, training in terms of the systems that they use, because they have these super secure laptops with super secure ways of logging in with VPNs and stuff like that. So they had to explain that to us and things like that. So I'm very grateful, and I think it's going to be a really exciting journey. A relatively medium-sized company to now a really big company. It's an American company, so like there's a lot of change involved, but that has taken a lot of my time and a lot of my effort, because on top of the work and the tasks that I need to do regardless for who I work with, yeah, the extra training, the extra meeting, conferences and paperwork and all that has been absolutely crazy. But I am very, very much grateful and excited that I got to keep my job, that they didn't, you know, fire anyone. They just bought us and that's it. So that's exciting. But that completely, yeah, shook up the amount of time I have to work now. So yeah, even though technically I work 9 to 6, I had to do some things extra for a little bit longer during the day. So that was hard in terms of training, but as well hard in terms of, you know, doing videos and keeping up with stuff. Let's say if we don't take into account the other things that has been happened, those two things were super major, and I think it impacted me a lot mentally. I'm constantly mentally tired, and that made it so that I don't necessarily work out 5 days a week as I want to. It also meant for me to not have the time to go for walks. I am eating healthy, and I think that is why I am still losing weight. So last time I did the update with you was Friday of not last week, the prior week, where I already had lost a little bit of weight, and now, so almost, yeah, a week and a half, I still lost a little bit more, not too much, just I think it was 0.6 kilos, but you know, it just gives me the idea that even though, as I said, I'm not training 5 times a week whatsoever, I'm not doing the 10k walk every single day as I'm meant to. Sometimes I don't even walk at all. Like, I think the total goes up to 3,000 steps, and maybe once or twice or maybe 3 times a week I go for a little walk, and that brings me up to 6,000 or 7,000 steps a day. So yeah, I've been not as consistent as I wanted, but you know, things have happened, so I'm not going to feel negative about it or blame myself or whatever. Life happens, and that's the whole point of a healthy lifestyle. Is not a run, no, sorry, it's not a race, it's a marathon, and the journey, it is what it is, and life is what it is. So yeah, that's what happened in that sense. Then on top of that, and this is what the exciting stuff comes in, first of all, obviously, I think it's quite obvious I'm not British, even though I live in the UK. I'm Italian, and because I moved here over 6 years ago, which is crazy to think. Well, no, near to 6 years, so over 5 years, but near to 6 years. That means I can apply for a EU settled status, which is basically is if you're from the European Union or the Europe area, you can apply for, and you have been living in the UK for 5 years or more, you can apply for the settled status, which means that you can live in the UK permanently, and you know, they can't basically kick you out. And I don't know, I think that has other benefits that comes with it. I don't know if it has to do with the NHS, but little things like that. And so I had to prove that I have been living here for as long as I said, because at the beginning, before I went to uni, I was an au pair, and I just was working here also at a restaurant, and I was doing little things to improve my English and make it so that once I started uni, I was able to follow lectures and do my tests and essays and things like that. So I had a little bit of difficulties proving that I never left the UK for more than 3 consecutive months. So yeah, that was another thing for the application for the settled status, which took a lot of time. I had to like contact my bank and get you know, like statements where I could show that all my transactions were to UK places like businesses or Tesco grocery stores and things like that, to show that I never left the UK at any point during this years. So that was, you know, a lot to do. And finally, I think I have to speed it up because we have to go in 25 minutes to something that I knew is something that we wanted to do, but you never think that it's going to actually happen, and I am so excited for this. But basically, as I mentioned, we have been saving, and because of, especially not necessarily my job, but because of the job of my fiance, we are going to stay in the town that we live now for quite a few years. At least that's what we think. And I know that the circumstances are different for everyone, and I'm not here to brag. I just wanted to share this journey with you because it's going to be exciting, it's going to be hard, and it's going to be a roller coaster probably. And so I wanted to share with you and, you know, get tips or give you an insight of what it is to buy a house. So we haven't got a loan yet, we haven't found a property yet, but today is the first time that we're going to see a house that is for sale, and we're going to see whether we like it and whether we put an offer on it or not. So it's an exciting journey, and obviously we are going to see more houses, and we're going to try to make our decision based on a lot of factors. So this is just the first of many, but I'm very excited because I never visited a house with the intention of buying it. I only visit apartments for renting and things like that. So I don't know, it doesn't feel real. I never felt this nervous and excited in my life, and I'm really grateful that we can do it so early on because of our combined income, because we both work, and so that allows us to be able to get a mortgage. So yeah, I don't want this new journey and this new part of my life to sound as me bragging, because we worked so hard to get to this point, and we're not even there yet. I mean, again, we only spoke to a mortgage broker, we only gave our data to get an agreement in principle, and now we're going to see the first house. So I have no idea how this is gonna go, and I have no idea how, yeah, what it's to happen. But yeah, I'm really excited, and that's why I'm getting ready to go there, to go see the house. One of the few houses which we really like, just to get an idea. And obviously we have more viewings for in a few weeks to come. But yeah, it's exciting, but it's very nerve-wracking, because the quickest possible thing to happen is that we like it, we put our offer in, then obviously the bank, we have to choose which bank and which mortgage to go for, then they have to check our data, and like the whole process minimum takes at least 2 to 3 months. So that's the minimum. If when they check the house they don't find major problems with it, when the bank evaluates the house to see whether what we offered is actually, you know, a worth amount to offer. So if all goes through smoothly, which is basically impossible, it still will take a few months, assuming that the first house that we see is what we want. And then it could take, yeah, anywhere between 2 to 3 months to 6 months, 10 months, a year, whatever it is. So it's nowhere near the finish line, and I have no idea, as I said, what's going to happen, if it's going to happen at all, because things happen, and you know, you never know, and nothing is set in stone, especially when you buy a house. So yeah, anyhow, it's very exciting regardless, and I find it so weird. I feel like a grown-up, you know, already trying to buy a house and get into the property ladder. So I find that absolutely crazy and mind-blowing. The other thing is that the idea, again, this is all in the best case scenario, but the idea is to buy a house that we don't necessarily love, but a house where if we have enough capital to make it nicer and modernize it or update it, we can then try to sell it in a relatively short term, so let's say 2 years, to then, yeah, sell it for a profit, sorry, and then trying to find the property that we actually like, where we're going to be for a longer term, and perhaps, you know, start our family there and things like that. So whatever we find or whatever we choose is going to be more of a business decision, as opposed to, I like that house, I want to live there. Like, obviously we want to like it, but it's more about which property we can add the most value once we buy it. We can, you know, improve it to then sell it again. So it's a little bit different to see properties that way, as opposed to buy it for yourself to live in forever or for the next 5 to 10 years. This is not what we're looking for. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I think it's going to be also very exciting because neither of us has ever you know, renewed a house, has never done works to a house, has never done any of that. So yeah, I don't know, I think it's going to be a new experience, a new chapter in our life, and yeah, can't wait to get there. But anyhow, enough of blabbing. I know I've been going on for already quite a while, but this is basically everything that's been happening in the past week alone. So it's been quite a bit, and that's why I have been all around. But yeah, I just wanted to give you an update of what's happening and why I haven't been on. But I also wanted to share this because I feel like me having these things and this unforeseen, anyhow, like for example my job bit and other things, like I did not foresee that it was going to take so much of my time. So I just wanted to tell you that if this happens to you, if you have a goal or you promise yourself to do a certain amount of things during the week and life happens and you can't do it, it's completely okay. As soon as you do your best and you just forgive yourself and you just, you know, bear in mind that you have to be flexible and you can't just take a all or nothing approach, that if you didn't work out 5 times a week and you didn't eat healthy and you didn't drink 8 liters of water a day and whatever else, then you're failing or you're falling off or overall the journey is going bad. That's not true. It's just life happens and you have to, or at least I am going to always be understandable and be honest with myself and say, yes, okay, probably today I would have had time to do a 20 minutes or 45 minutes workout, or probably today if I had woken up 20 minutes earlier I could have gone for a walk. Like, yeah, okay, but you have to also take into account the mental stress, the effort, the energy that all these things happening to you have an effect on your head, basically on your mental space. And if you need to sleep a little bit longer or you need one more cookie, then that is completely fine and there is nothing wrong with it. And yeah, I mean, I've done that. I've eaten relatively healthy and I've still lost a little bit, not too much, but that's what happens, and there is no point of thinking about it too much. The only thing I can do is be better and try better tomorrow or today and just move on. And so yeah, I just wanted to sort of share it because life is not always as perfect as everyone thinks it should be or as everyone thinks other people have it. And you know, everyone has a complicated life with its own struggles, which are neither worse or better than any others. It's just, you know, everyone has its own life and everyone has to overcome its own difficulties. But at the end of the day, if you think that mentally you actually, you know, chose the best thing for you, then no matter what that thing is, then it is what it is. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you a little bit and also tell you that perhaps at some point in the near future there are going to be moving vlogs and renovating vlogs and me basically doing a workout all around tearing a wall down or whatever it is that we can do in the new house. And despite everything in this past week, I probably worked out twice, and that was basically what I had time and energy for. I did do something really fun, and I think that if you have a partner or a sister or a mother or father, whatever it is, I think that is something that perhaps you should consider. So basically what we did is whenever we felt like we had energy to do workouts but we didn't want to necessarily do the typical weightlifting session, or we didn't want to go out for a walk because maybe it was just windy and rainy and miserable and we just couldn't be bothered for it. So we decided to buy a pair of boxing gloves and a pair of boxing receiver pads, basically. I don't know, I will put it down in the description box. So we decided to start doing that, and we did a little bit of a 20-minute kickboxing kind of session, which is not really, because neither of us know how to do kickboxing, but we've been looking at a few videos on YouTube and just doing a few sequences, and basically spent the last 20 minutes of a session doing that, and it has been so good. It has been honestly very like so much fun and so empowering, especially for a woman, to be able to know how strong you actually are throwing punches and getting better at it, and just, yeah, do an activity that is out of my comfort zone, that is not what I usually do, but is a real fun and kind of useful, to be fair. I feel like, you know, for self-defense, especially women should know how to throw a punch, so it's something that you should definitely learn. So yeah, it has been fun in that sense, and my fiance has taught me a little bit of technique, how to jab and, I don't know the terms, properly, and putting your weight in it to gain power kind of thing. So yeah, that has been therapeutic, I don't know how to say it, but it has been really good. And I've been actually doing after my leg session, so I would do a little bit of a leg workout with some weights, resistance bands, whatnot, for like 40 minutes, half an hour, or even 20 minutes, and then we would do 20 minutes of boxing. So just to make sure that I would do sort of a full body session, and that because the weight side of things, they don't necessarily get your heart rate up, or not as much, and they don't get you necessarily as sweaty. Doing the boxing has been basically like a heat session, very intense, doing arms and abs, and overall a little bit more fun. So yeah, that has been really cool. But yeah, I literally have 10 minutes before we have to be out of the door. So yeah, I don't know, this is basically everything that happened. Nothing much, because, you know, we're still in quarantine, there's nowhere to go. And the other thing, I was going to say, I was really surprised that even though we are in the 3rd national lockdown, it is still allowed to go and see houses. So obviously we're taking the precautions, mask, gloves, antibacterial gel and whatnot. So yeah, I don't want it to seem like we're not caring and we're not being careful. We literally haven't been anywhere since the pandemic started. Like, I haven't even seen my mother in a year, so I don't want to give the impression that I don't care or that I'm above the rule. Like, we are really careful. I don't go anywhere unless I need to, like the grocery and yeah, the walk to the park where no one's around. So yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to say, that we are being careful, and we wouldn't have even considered going to see the houses until basically what happened is that A, they told that that is allowed, and B, they're having open days to see the house. So if we don't see the property in these occasions, we wouldn't see the property at all. And so obviously you can't put an offer on a property that you haven't seen. So that's why we're going, and we're going to be careful and respectful and just as safe as we can. And I mean, even the open day house event is not that you just walk in whenever you want. You have to book an appointment so that there is only one family or one couple or one person at a time. So it's not that it's just an open house like it used to be, where yeah, you just show up and there could be 20 people at the same time. It's very much a appointment only, but basically what they decided to do is that they will dedicate only one day or a couple of days to show the property, and that's it. So they wouldn't allow for anything else, so that they could concentrate all the viewings in 1 or 2 days or whenever they decided to do, and you know, that's it. So that's why it is our only way to see these properties and make a decision in that regard. But I don't know, as I said a million times already, I'm so excited and so nervous and just mind blown, and I feel so lucky to finally be able to go see properties. Regardless of what's gonna happen, I just find it a very, you know, blessed place to be in. So yes, sorry for not having looked at the camera too often. I hope it has been okay, me blabby while doing this, but I literally have 4 minutes left before we have to get out. So yeah, I just really wanted to do it very quickly while talking to you. But yeah, so this is what happened with me. This is where I'm at. As I said, or as I tried to say, I am okay. I'm still on track, whatever you want to define that. But I'm still trying my best to be as healthy as I can be and as respectful of my body as I can be. So I do try to move, eat healthy, and do some exercise when I can, but life happened, and so yeah, there is nothing I can do about it, and actually I'm embracing it. And I think this moment I'm going to probably remember for a long time, because it's when everything basically has changed in a matter of a week, which I find it crazy. But yeah, super exciting day today. I'm really hopeful as well that my visa basically application is gonna go through and that everything is going to settle, so that work-wise and life-wise I can just start this new chapter and just see where it brings me. I don't know, but yeah, so super excited. Hopefully I will be able to in the future maybe show you properties as we go see them and share a little bit about that. I'm definitely not bringing you along today because the place where we're going is not an empty house. They have tenants in there and they have children, which I'm assuming they're going to be a school, but regardless, I just find it disrespectful to just plant a camera in there. So yeah, we will see, or perhaps I will just show you the property when we have bought one. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I'm new at this, so yeah, we will see. But yeah, so this is what happened with me. The next video, hopefully, I really hope so, is going to be a workout or something, you know, more fitness related and more in line to what this YouTube channel is. But yeah, it's also about sharing my life, and that's why I wanted to share what is happening with you. And I want to, you know, hear about your stories if you bought a house lately, especially now with COVID. So if you have any tips in that sense, or what we should look at when, you know, going to see houses, or yeah, any sort of tips, it doesn't matter, whatever it is that can help me in any way, then please leave it in the comment section below, because yeah, we really need any input, any type of input. We would really appreciate it. And yeah, I really hope you like this video. Sorry for the mess, sorry for the rush, but yeah, I really hope that you liked it regardless. And if you did, then please don't forget to give a like and subscribe for my YouTube channel for whatever it is to come, which I don't even know what's happening. But yeah, and hopefully I will see you next time. Ciao!